Casing the Cover is a bi-monthly podcast series hosted by Mary and Jen. That's me. In our day-to-day experiences, Mary and I happen across numerous crappy covers, atrocious authors, and sad, sad titles. We spend a healthy amount of time decoding how cover designs can be humorously contrary to the story within or used to lure readers based on demographic or current trends. Should you judge a book by the cover? Join Mary and Jen on the case to find out.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Casing the Cover, the podcast where this week I'm going to teach Jen what movies are.
I know what movies are. I just don't watch a lot
You don't watch a lot of movies. And last time we talked, you scarred me for life. So you don't get to talk about movies anymore.
Wait, how? What did I say?
I'm talking about that weird mermaid movie.
Oh,
It was frightening. It really frightened me.
It was beautiful. It had heart.
The one
And
where,
then the other one.
The one where she she gets raped or whatever.
Okay,
mermaid
yeah, that
raped.
one wasn't good. That one was bad.
No, it was bad. Very bad. So it's our movie month. We're talking about movie covers, posters, etc. And so last week we actually talked about movies. Jen talked about 2 movies that she watched, both about mermaids. Very summary. And this week I've done some very haphazard research about movie posters, and so I'm going to tell Jen all about what I learned.
I'm actually really excited about this.
Okay.
I'm
not because I forgot everything. So I already told you this, but what happened was I watched a bunch of videos, I took a bunch of notes, I left my notes at home. So then I pulled a bunch of articles and I wrote new notes. So I'm going to try to kind of remember general things. And there's 2 things I'm going to talk about. I'm talking about color schemes, and I'm talking about actor poses.
Oh.
Because I remember watching, and I'll link all of the stuff that I used for my research below, because there's a couple really good videos I watched. There's one I watched a long, long time ago, which made me want to do this. That talks about why the order that people stand on a movie poster does not match the order their names are written on a movie poster.
Yes.
That talks all about that. There's another video I watched through Vanity Fair. Do you ever watch the Vanity Fair videos?
No.
So Vanity Fair is a magazine, right? Their YouTube channel does a lot of celebrity interviews where they make them do stupid stuff, and I think they do the autocorrect one. They also, however, do these videos where they have experts analyze movies. So they'll have actual weapons experts analyze fight scenes in movies.
Oh, yes.
Or actual chefs analyze cooking scenes in movies. Or we watched one that was really good. This one's really good. Where they actually had a former CIA agent watch a bunch of clips from movies where people were in disguise, and she talked about whether or not those were effective disguises that they would have actually used in the CIA, because she was the head of false identities and stuff for the CIA, so she was uppity up in that.
Was she the costume designer for the CIA?
Yes, she was. So they had her watch Alias and Bourne and all these other spy movies to see and talk about how effective they were. So I'm a movie nerd. I watch way more movies than I read books. I'm a huge movie nerd, and so that kind of fell into that, and I was like, I'll learn something, I'll teach Jen.
Okay, I like
So I also have a small sample of our movies. So I couldn't find examples of everything I'm talking about.
Let me hold the movies.
Especially poses, because we're also going to talk about poses. But
movies.
I found some examples of color schemes, so we'll start there.
Okay, is there an order in which you want these, or can I flash one at you?
I don't remember, but hold on. So one of these videos I watched was Vanity Fair, and let me see if I can remember the name of the expert, because I think it says it in this article. James Verdisotto?
Yeah, I'll go with Verdisotto.
Okay, so he is a designer who's done movie posters for really iconic stuff like Pulp Fiction and Ocean's 8 or Ocean's 11. And they interviewed him on Vanity Fair, and they basically gave him different movie posters and asked him to break them down. And so that's where most of this is kind of coming from. It's a fascinating video. Watch it. I'll link it. But so the first thing that we're going to talk about is color schemes. Well, you can start with those.
Okay.
So the one that Jen pulled, I have a pile of some movies that fit what he's talking about and some that don't. So, there's more that, yeah. So the first ones you pulled were Expendables 2 and Solo.
Yes.
Both of which, they're kind of hitting a couple of different things that I learned about.
That's why I pulled them both, because they have a lot of similar stuff
going on here. So Expendables, this is Expendables 2. It has All of the guys that are in it, it's got a gazillion people in it. Who's in this movie? It's
Stallone,
Rocky,
Statham, Lee, Lundgren, Norris, Cruz.
They're all in it. All the old action stars are in this movie. They're all standing, side to side. Rocky's in the middle. Stallone's in the middle. And the background is kind of dark, and everything they're wearing is dark, but then there's flames. It's very fiery. The other one you pulled is Solo, a Star Wars story, and this is, again, a bunch of people standing in a line, and the background is kind of also orangey, and there's
an airplane.
There's
a flying device in both of these.
Flying device in both of them. I didn't get that far into my research. But so
I didn't want to say airplane because Solo's got the spaceship and the other one's got an airplane.
So this one speaks to kind of this. These are both obviously action movies. This one I think kind of falls under another too, which we'll all get to. But I want to talk about The Expendables particularly. This black with the kind of orange and red. There's a lot of posters now that will also do black and white with that flash of red or flash of orange. You see it a lot with the Fast and the Furious movies.
Oh my gosh, those have got to be like all very similar.
My pictures aren't loading. But they associate the orange with masculine, with explosions. That's why they'll get like the very muted colors except for that big flash of red. So you see them on a lot of like the Fast and Furious, the Expendables, the Transporter movies, a lot of these big flashy men blowing things up kind of movies. It's associated with masculinity.
Red is boy, so then is blue girl?
No, red is not boy. Orange is boy.
Orange is boy. Okay.
Orange is boy.
Well then is blue then girl?
No.
Because there's a lot of blue movies that
Wow, you're trying to get ahead of this, Jen.
I know, because
I'm going to show you. Do I have them
I'm
on
asking
here?
questions.
Here. So.
Oh my gosh. They are. They all like black
and white with splash of red. All these shoot 'em ups. A lot of them have weapons in their hands. That's very much that shoot 'em up action star kind of. So that's your blue, your black with orange. Now there's also blue with orange. Will you grab the Avengers for me?
Yes, because it's split.
And Solo also kind of has that.
Blade Runner.
And Blade Runner, yes.
Blade Runner and the Avengers do this the best, I think.
So this is a thing, and from what I can tell, I don't think they explicitly said this in any of the videos I watched. This is a color scheme that's used a lot for these big budget kind of action movies, but it's also, as far as I can tell, more associated with fantasy and sci-fi than straight action.
Oh.
These are both, this is a superhero movie, Blade Runner, 2049 is sci-fi. Solo even kind of has it a little bit. There's a little bit of those blue tones. So this is a really, really hot trend right now. If you pull a lot of especially sci-fi and fantasy movies, you will see it a lot.
I'm totally looking for more.
And the reason why this blue-orange color scheme, they are complementary colors, but they aren't associated with anything else. So, like, your red and green are complementary colors, but that makes you think of Christmas.
Yes.
This one's got, Blade Runner's got more red in it, but it's kind of orange and red.
Also, there's so many people on these covers.
Yes, which we'll get to when we talk about
They're
poses.
so people-y.
But that's a huge trend in especially action movies, and I think there's also a picture of that on here, and that's kind of fascinating how many fall under that trend. So here's a bunch:
like
Hulk,
blue and yellow.
Jumper, G.I. Joe, Born Identity Australia, Ninth Museum, Dragon Ball Z. It's a lot more fantasy and sci-fi movies follow that origin. There's a lot now. Like half the Avengers movies use that color scheme. I think the House of the Clock and its walls use that blue and orange color scheme. So we talked kind of about the action movies a little bit. You've got the other red, so I'm gonna pull these out. So you asked, is blue women? No, red is ladies. Red is associated with comedies and rom-coms.
What?
Especially red and white. So this is not really rom-com, it's more of a comedy. So comedies and rom-coms are associated with white and red. And this one is kind of funny. This is Spy. So it's got the three spies, on the bottom. It's Jude Law and Jason Statham and I can't remember her name. But they got the guns and everything.
Rose Byrne?
And Melissa McCarthy is like sliding across the top of it and she's in a red sweatsuit.
Yeah. With a cat on her shirt.
The lady in red is a trope that's associated with rom-coms. And so a lot of rom-coms, you will see the female lead in a red dress. And there's a picture of that on here somewhere. There's the ladies in red. when you see a rom-com, a ton of rom-coms have the female lead in red. And even like romantic dramas. So like Last Holiday has it.
Moulin
Rouge has it.
Amelie.
The one Something About Mary has it.
How far back does this go?
It's an ongoing trend. No, it's an ongoing trend.
Oh my gosh, yeah, It's All Yours is an old movie. Oh my gosh, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That's why she's in red. Oh my gosh, it's like a conspiracy.
So that's why I think Spy is funny, because Melissa McCarthy is in a red jumpsuit or in a red sweatsuit instead of in a red dress, and that's Love, Simon. He's not wearing red because it's a LGBT romance. But his friends are wearing red.
No, she's not. She's wearing a jean jacket, and these two are wearing red. So are they like a couple and they're a couple?
I think they become a couple in the movie.
Okay.
And she's like in love with him, but he's gay.
Okay.
It's a cute movie. You should watch it.
Okay.
But yeah, so red is associated obviously with romance. Pink also associated with rom-coms and with romance. That isn't it romantic? I'm pretty sure in the trailers Rebel Wilson wears a red dress. Even the one with, I can't remember now, with Daenerys Targaryen where the guy kills himself. What's the name of that movie? You haven't seen it.
No. Thanks for spoiling that. Whatever it was. 3, 2, 1, spoiler.
It's a sad rom-com.
Is it that Last Christmas weird one?
No, not that one. That one, the guy's already dead. And he gives her his heart. And that's why it's called Last Christmas. Because it's all George Michael music. And Last Christmas, he gave her his heart. The title of the movie spoils the movie.
I kind of already figured that. Yeah. But spoilers for those who didn't see it.
The Me Before You. Me Before You is the name of that movie.
You Before Me.
You Before Me. Whatever it's called.
Me Before You.
Me Before You. It's called Me Before You. She's wearing a red dress on the cover, even though it's a romantic drama. So
he kills himself?
Yes, because he's paralyzed and he kills himself. He assisted suicides.
What?
Yeah, that movie's really depressing. Don't watch it.
Is she the one that kills him?
No. The doctor kills him.
Oh.
He goes to Switzerland or some crap. I don't remember. It was sad. I don't want to remember it, Jen. I block out sad movies.
Well, it's a JoJo Moyes book.
And there's a Me After You, I think.
Yeah, and then
she goes to Paris or something.
About Paris. There's 3. There's 3 of these dead people books. I think somebody dies in every single one of them. I just get that feeling.
Really?
I'm pretty
that would be a really crappy existence. Your boyfriend dies. Everyone else dies. Everyone just dies.
I think that's what she does. She's like the angel of death.
Jeez.
I don't know. I'm just making this guess.
Her and Elizabeth Swann.
What? Who?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Why is she the angel of death?
Because the person she kisses in every movie of Pirates of the Caribbean dies.
Oh yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long-running film theory.
Oh.
So this podcast is slowly going to end in us just talking about film theories and
this happens.
All right. So that's rom-coms are red. Now pull the blue. Pull the blue.
Okay.
Guys.
But these are all very different.
Not her. She's different. Pull these guys. These 2.
Okay, there's only one guy on both of these. This is
yes.
Oh, look, he's holding a gun in his hand, and he's holding a gun in his hand.
Yes. So this is Drive, and John Wick. So Drive is Ryan Gosling, and John Wick is Keanu Reeves. Both of them blue background, blue tone, and they're both looking very serious, holding a gun. Blue is also...
There's an exploding car in the background of both of them.
His is just driving. It's not exploding. Those are headlights.
Well, I don't know.
So blue is associated with action too. More dramatic action than the Expendables where they're just blowing stuff up. It's more like an action drama. And blue, from what I was reading, is also associated with thrillers. So not less shoot 'em ups and more thrillers.
But that other blue one is not a thriller.
No, we're not talking about her right now. She's
but I want to talk about that one.
Not yet.
Not a thriller.
It's not colors. That's poses. That's big face.
But it's blue.
Don't worry about big face yet. And the other thing about the blue covers is they were saying that blue, because it's so dark, is often associated with more adult action. So even if you look at the Harry Potter movies, how the covers of those have evolved throughout.
Oh yeah.
The later movies are more blue. The earlier movies are more that black and orange.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's associated with more serious. It's darker. It's more
gritty.
It's gritty. Yes,
Noir.
Gritty is a less explosion, masculine, big guns, more, and that's exactly what they said. Is it is inspired by film noir. This color scheme.
So I also noticed in these two covers, they're both walking towards the viewer, whatever, but Ryan Gosling's like looking up and Keanu Reeves is looking down. Is that a thing?
I don't know. I didn't get that far.
And he's wearing
Probably.
white and he's wearing black.
I think that's a blue suit.
Well, he's wearing dark.
Yes.
And he's wearing light.
Yes. He's wearing a scorpion.
I know, he's got a scorpion on there. Is that a thing?
I don't know. I haven't seen either of these movies.
Oh. Well.
These are not my kind of movies. I saw both the rom-coms. Did you notice that?
Yes. See, these are more like my kind of movies, but I haven't seen them yet. I have to like be in a place to watch movies. So, and it's funny that we bring up this movie thing because I'm planning on watching with a group of gals the 300, the Frank Miller one.
The This is Sparta?
Yeah, Kick 'Em in the Hole, This is Sparta.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay.
Like, amazing movie.
I don't like that movie.
I love that movie for so many reasons.
All the hot guys in that movie die.
Well, because it's historical weird stuff.
Yeah, but like the weird, like, creepy looking guy, he lives.
Xerxes?
Sure.
The king. The big guy.
No, the one of the 300s that like survives and goes back. He's like missing an eye and he's all
yeah, he's a little beat up.
Yeah, no, they killed the hot one first. I didn't like that movie. I lost all interest at that point. Also, it's really, really campy.
No, that is how the Spartans would have told that story.
Okay, sure.
It's not historically accurate. It's how they would have told it. That's what makes it
fine, but like the acting is really hammy. I don't think Gerard Butler's a good actor.
Well, but it's loud and it's big and it's red.
It is.
And the whole movie is red.
The whole movie's red. It's all actiony.
It's all actiony.
Yes.
And
deserts.
And desert.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good color scheme in that movie.
And it's got the flash of white on there too.
It does.
Because the 300 is red, but it's got the 300 is all white. Okay.
All right. This is the last one I want you to look at.
This is yellow.
It's yellow. So what do you think yellow means?
Well, okay. The title of the movie is At Eternity's Gate. Is this about?
It's about Vincent Van Gogh.
I was gonna say he's missing an ear. It's about Van Gogh.
Yes.
Yellow. Yellow is
Willem Dafoe. What does yellow mean?
Yellow is biographies. Yellow is like. Okay, wait. Give me at least 3 guesses.
Okay.
It's about like soul searching.
No.
It's about yellow is about. Okay, I really wish my third.
Who put this out because I want to see. Yeah, it's probably good. So
movies.
This sort of.
Okay.
So I pulled At Eternity's Gate, which I don't know if this one's technically considered an indie film, but it is more of an art film. Yellow is associated with indie films because.
Oh no! Is it because it's cheap?
Yes. Yes, that's exactly why.
Because it costs less to print.
Well, not because it costs less to print, but because yellow is more impactful, and they're working with a smaller marketing budget.
So they want it to.
Jump out at you. So yellow, Little Miss Sunshine. There's a couple other like really popular examples of this, but when you see a yellow cover, it's usually associated with an indie film. Which this is CBS Pictures, which I'm sure technically is more of an indie film making. This is not a movie that got a wide release. This is a movie festival movie. This is a drama that came out only to make Oscars.
Oh my gosh.
So yellow is associated with indie film.
I'm going to look up some indie films while you're talking about this because I am so curious because you don't have any other indie films.
No, and I couldn't find Little Miss Sunshine because that's the perfect example.
It is, but I just thought it was because it's sunshine, yellow. I just thought it was playing into
Sunshine
that.
Cleaners, I believe, also uses yellow, which again you might think is associated with the sunshine, but no.
But no.
Yeah, yellow is particularly popular with indie films because it is very impactful without...
The Art of Self-Defense.
You see a lot of blue ones there too.
Peanut Butter Falcon, it's got the yellow tone to it.
Yeah, that brighter cover.
Let's see. I'm going to look for more images of this stuff. Oh my gosh, this is blowing my mind.
The other one I wrote down with color is a lot of most nature-y movies, like nature documentaries, are blue, but not the same blue. So your John Wicks, your Drives are that kind of gray blue, that kind of gritty blue. Whereas nature movies are that very bright ocean blue.
8th grade.
8th grade, yeah.
Bright yellow.
So that's kind of what I learned about colors, Jen. I learned all about colors this week.
Hey, Troop Zero. That's in bright
They're
yellow.
all wearing
They're
yellow.
all wearing
Yeah.
yellow. That's really funny. Oh my gosh. Lolo is
I just blew your mind.
bright yellow. You did. You totally blew my mind with this. Leave No Trace is bright yellow.
Lady in the
writing
Van
on it.
has yellow. That movie's sad, too.
Booksmart. It's also yellow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Associated with lower budgets.
But Moonlight is not yellow.
No.
Blue.
Look at what you know what it is, though?
What is it?
It's Big Face.
Oh, and that's our segue.
Which
to
I'm
Big
going
Face.
to segue into Big Face.
All right. So what is Big Face?
Big Face. So, Big Face, these movies where you see a really big face. Often they are used especially when you have a big star. So you see them in a couple different places. The one thing I was reading was talking about they're in the Mission Impossible movies. A lot of them are just Tom Cruise's face really big, even though they're action films. And they use the red and they use the orange and the black and the white.
I thought it was just his ego.
But you also see, well, he's a big star. It sells the movie. But you also see it a lot with dramas. Because instead of, a lot of action and things happening, it's just big sad face or big thoughtful face. So we have, again, Vincent van Gogh's face. And then Brooklyn with...
Cersei?
No, it's Saoirse.
Oh.
Saoirse Ronan, I believe is how you pronounce her name.
Oh.
I love her. She's the greatest actress of her generation. I watch all of her movies.
See, I would pronounce that Cersei. Sorsa?
It's spelled Saoirse, and it's Saoirse, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
She's very Irish.
Very Irish.
And I love this movie. This is Brooklyn. I might take that home with me. But yeah, so Moonlight is a good example of it. Big face, big emotion. There's also, you'll see a lot of times, I think Imitation Game, another one of my favorite movies, is one where you see the text over the face.
Oh.
We'll see the title over the face, and it's just giant Benedict Cumberbatch face with just the writing over it. This is what the movie is about writing. It's often associated with dramas. They want the impact to be, did you know that we got this guy to be in this movie? Because there's less stuff going on.
Right.
It's intense. It's up close action, not action, intensity.
Looking at their face.
Right. Looking at
Getting
their face.
into their emotions in their eyes.
So that's Big Face.
Big face.
Big face. Now I want to go back to, we'll do Solo and Infinity War. So these are the group shots.
It's the team getting
The team
together.
shots. These are for ensemble movies, obviously.
Yes.
But you will notice that the way that these people are staged does not match the way they're credited on the title.
No.
So
and there's nobody credited.
No one on Avengers, no. But there is no Expendables.
Okay.
So Stallone is first, and then Statham, and then Lee. It's Jet Li, I think.
Yeah.
Lundgren, Norris, Cruise,
Couture,
Hemsworth.
Van Damme, Willis, and Schwarzenegger.
Well, it says also Van Damme with Willis and Schwarzenegger. So this has to do with billing, which is
Wits and ands.
fascinating.
Also wits and ands.
So the way billing works is your biggest star gets billed first, the person you're selling the movie on. If you have another big star that isn't in the movie as much, they will also get the also with ands and get last billing. Everyone else kind of goes in the middle. But if you look at this cover, the first person in the middle of the ensemble is, of course, Stallone, because he's the main character.
Right.
On either side of him is Statham and Schwarzenegger.
Dad.
And then Bruce Willis is all the way in the corner. Chuck Norris is all the way in the back.
Yeah.
Terry Crews is right behind Stallone. Lee is over here in the corner, on the other corner. They are not in the same order, standing next to each other as they are in the credits.
No, not
Same with Solo. So Solo has Alan Aldrich right in the middle. He plays young Han Solo. On the left of him is Emilia Clarke, who's the love interest. And then on the other side of him is Donald Glover. And then next to Emilia Clarke is Woody Harrelson, who has a smaller role in the film. I have not seen this movie. The way they are billed is Alden Ehrenreich and then Woody Harrelson. Because Alden Ehrenreich is the main star of the movie. Woody Harrelson is the next big actor.
Right.
But she's got to be next because she's the love interest and she's on his left. And then the buddy is Donald Glover, who doesn't get billing until after Emilia Clarke. And then, who's that? Thandie Newton. I don't even know who that is. I'm assuming that's her.
That's her.
And with Paul Bettany. He got it with, and he's not even on the front cover unless he's the robot.
That's not a with, it's an and.
Oh, and Paul Bettany.
And. So then we've got a also, an and a with. Do those mean anything? Is there a special? Like,
they were kind of this. There's also, I'll send you that video. I'll post it too. It's kind of a concession for you're a big star, but you aren't the star, so we're gonna give you last billing because that makes you seem more important. The video I watched, he calls this the Samuel Jackson line because every time Samuel L. Jackson's in the movie, it'll say with Samuel L. Jackson because he's never the lead, but he's a big star.
He's the name.
He's the name. So it's a thing you see a lot with movies he's in. They were also talking about, there was a movie, I can't remember who, it was Brando and somebody else, where they both in their contracts were supposed to have top billing. And usually top billing means you are the furthest up and the furthest to the left. You come first. So to compensate for both actors with top billing, they put one of them to the left and down and the other to the right and up. So they were both in those positions of power. Even though to give them equal billing. So that's why when you see a big ensemble film, the actors are never in order because usually the lead's always in the middle, not first.
Right.
Because that's the power position. And usually the love interest is to the left. And usually the sidekick is to the right or the villain. But your main guy is always in the middle. The Avengers one, there's a ton of people.
All right.
So it kind of doesn't quite fit the rule.
If that makes him the main character.
Of course he is.
The love interest is to the left. It would be
also
Captain
accurate.
America.
Also accurate.
And then the buddy or the villain is Thor, and he's on the right.
The villain is Thanos.
Yeah, but he's up here. I'm not looking at him. I'm looking at the
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark is the hero.
And I would say it's pretty. I mean, obviously Tony Stark's love interest is Pepper Potts, but emotionally within those films, him and Captain America are basically fighting boyfriends.
Fighting boyfriends.
They are. They're in a tiff.
That's funny. Oh my gosh, I gotta find another one. So wait, then Terry Crews would be the love interest for Stallone?
Sure. Sure.
I'm totally just ragging them.
I know.
Give me.
You want these back?
I want those back because
these ones don't count as much because there's less people on them.
So then is he the love interest? And she's the buddy?
She is the buddy for Love, Simon.
On Love, Simon?
No, he's not the love interest. I don't remember the love interest. So, okay, I'm gonna give you a summary of the movie Love, Simon. The summary of the movie Love, Simon is that he gets leaked as being a gay guy.
Okay.
And I think someone sends him like a letter, and him and this other guy start anonymously texting each other and emailing each other.
Okay.
And at the end, the other guy shows up. So you don't know who the love interest is until the end of the movie.
Oh.
So he's not really on the box because they don't want to give it away.
Okay.
That's all I remember about that movie. It is very cute. So I don't have examples of this, but I'm going to pull this up on the phone. Rom-coms. What's the number one go-to pose for a rom-com?
They're not kissing.
They're back to back because they're opposites and they're opposing each other and they're so quirky. Look at this.
They're so quirky. Oh my god.
Penelope, Kiss and Kill.
So far back.
Yes, it is far back. It's kind of that opposing, where we're opposites but we love each other and
it's like universal because this is a
well that's Penelope. It's just in a different language.
Oh, but it still is in a different language. Even My Girl. Oh my gosh.
My Girl, yeah.
What the heck?
It's very popular with rom-coms, especially these ones where it's like we hate each other but then we fall in love anyway.
Oh, but they don't fall in love, do they?
But it is a rom-com. Bride Wars.
Bride Wars.
It is and it isn't. It's best friends. They're both getting married. It's a girl movie. It's a chick flick.
Okay.
These are all chick flicks.
Well, those two are guys back
That
to
one
back.
isn't. They were talking about this too. The Ghost of Girlfriend's Past, where she's holding on to. They're back to back, and she's holding on to his scarf.
I have noticed there's a couple where she's holding
on to something. That's very much like the "Ha, I got you." It's very.
That's a little creepy. Like
we have conflict. I have his scarf. So that's
have conflict.
One of the standards for rom-coms. If you're going raunchy comedy, though, in Pretty Woman, she also has his tie.
Yeah.
If you're going raunchy comedy, it's a shot of somebody between somebody else's legs.
Yes. I've seen so much of this.
There's a lot, and this is just
Yeah,
People.
like stop with the crotch shots.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And that too goes all the way back. Like there's
there's some old movie posters in here. That's very popular.
There's a 007 movie that has the crotch shot.
That doesn't surprise me. Is it? Is it one of the really cheesy, like,
I think
Dudley Moore, one of those?
I want to say it's the From Russia with Love one. I want to say it's been a long time. I have it. It's in my house because it's part of our collection.
Of course it is.
But yeah. There's no denying the amount of James Bond that's in my house. I own the 300, and he has all the James Bond. Yeah, and that's pretty much all you need to know about our collection.
That's about right.
Right? Yeah.
It depends at your house. We watch Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, so.
Yeah, we do have that too, and that's his collection.
Oh, okay.
I know, right?
That makes a little more sense. You're not really a Disney gal.
And not a Disney gal. I own, like, the movies that I love. I've got Reservoir Dogs, 300, Moulin Rouge, and Goonies.
So those are the 5 movies you've seen.
Yeah, probably those are the 5 movies.
Because I have to explain everything to her. Because that's your entire canon that you're dealing with.
Yeah, pretty much. And I've seen the James Bond movies and mostly stayed awake through them.
I feel like with that list, Moulin Rouge is kind of an outlier.
No. The cover's red.
The dress is red.
The dress is red!
Yes. And then, of course, most horror movies are associated with big eyes. It's a very big horror movie trope.
But that's Avatar.
Yeah, I know that one's Avatar.
It was horror.
This is more of a list of just covers that look the same. But you'll notice most of these big eyes, most of them are horror movies or thrillers.
Or monster movies.
Because they're creepy. Because eyes are creepy and scary, and we don't like them, and looking into your soul.
Looking into your soul. Super Croc. Oh my gosh. Deep Rising. Bionic Woman. Is that horror?
I don't know.
Candyman. They're redoing that.
Yes, I know. Requiem for a Dream, which is just disturbing.
Blind Love. Maybe that's not. That's
creepy.
a horror movie.
I don't know.
Requiem. Chucky. Yep.
But yeah. That's my list. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure we could talk about this forever.
In bed. This
one, I'm assuming these are mostly also kind of romantic comedies, conflict-y movies. They all look like probably raunchier rom-coms. This is just a list of things you see in a bunch of different movie posters. We can kind of go through. There's Between the Legs, Back to Back. Oh, this is also with big heads, with dramas. It's a big head, but then underneath there's a tiny face. That's not a rom-com.
I know, but Thanos has a big head.
Thanos has a big head. It's more of these like sappy drama movies. Someone will have a big head and you'll see the couple like really small below them. That goes with big head. But like, I think it's more with romantic dramas because it's usually someone's big head and then the couple. Or the couple's big head and then the couple really small. That goes with big head. And there's also the back of the hero because it's disturbing and not disturbing.
And Patterson.
Oh, they also talked about running on covers. Is the thing with action movies. So, and the Vanity Fair video I watched, he did talk about how a lot of like action novels and stuff have taken kind of these same tropes and these same designs, like the blue covers, like the people running on the covers. They've done a lot of that to kind of fit in with that thriller action movie.
Right.
And make you want to read them, and Patterson is very guilty of that.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if, like, do you think books kind of... Which way do you think it goes? And I know this is completely opinion. Do you think books are taking the themes from movie covers to be appealing to people who watch movies? Because let's think about it. Our society, we really are movie junkies more than anything. Or is it the films are taking from the book covers because they've been more long-standing?
I think that I have nothing to back this up. But I would think that, and it's not with most books, I feel like most books, especially book cover, things you see on book covers a lot, they have their own tropes. They have their own things that they do versus movies. You're never going to see a movie where your star's face is cut off and it's just his abs. Because they want to sell you Tom Cruise. So But I think some genres of books do take from movies because they know how well these kinds of movies do. Mm-hmm. And so they have kind of taken that and run with it. That's the same reason why when a book gets adapted into a movie and gets really popular, they republish the book with the movie cover.
Yes.
Because they go, remember you like movies, read the book instead.
Yes.
So I think that some genres of book do take from movie posters, but like if you think about it, I don't ever see sci-fi covers that are blue and orange. They're usually
the Star Wars ones are very orange.
That's because they're Star Wars.
And I will say that there are probably those colors are common over in the sci-fi, and then like Cheryl Kenyon, I said her name wrong.
Yeah,
she does romance, but they're science fiction romance. And they are all that orange.
Yeah, but that orange is usually in movies associated with masculine blowing things up, not with romance. That's what I'm saying.
Sci-fi.
But that's not the one associated with sci-fi. The one associated with sci-fi is the blue and orange, not the black and red and black and orange. That's associated with blowing up masculine action movies.
I think this is a future podcast. We got to take and see how many genres of movie match with the genre of the book.
I think books follow their own tropes. I think you don't see. Here's the other thing: you don't see girls in red dresses on books. You see big ball gowns on books because they're cheaper to draw than to put into a movie poster.
This is true.
I think you see similar tropes in books, but they serve different purposes in books.
Oh yeah.
I think you see a woman in a dress is more likely to be on a fantasy cover in YA than it is to be in the rom-coms.
That's true. Or in the romance.
Or in romance. Well, that's a different kind of gown. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, they have their own tropes. I don't think there's some that follow what movies do. But I think it's particular genres.
The other thing I find interesting, every single one of the examples that you brought into this, every single one has people on it.
Yeah.
Not a single one is like, here's a picture of just the woods and somebody running away, or here's a picture of the sword that we're going to...
And I think he talked about a little bit that's less common, and you usually get more abstract posters when it is more of... Not necessarily like smaller budget, more indie. You don't necessarily have a big star. You'll see more abstract. And I think it's also an older thing. Things like, I'm trying to think of, is it Vertigo? Where it's the spiral and the picture, the image of the man. Like, I think those are more associated with older films.
Well, no, there's a gap in that. Like, when you say older films, the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, those are all people. Yeah. And then you hit the 80s and 90s.
Well, I think it was a thing in the 60s too.
Yeah?
I think so. It's Hitchcock. A lot of Hitchcocks are abstract.
Well, yeah, that's true. There are some of those. But I think that by and large, you've got more people on covers.
That's because books are sold on the author, movies are sold on the stars. That's why they have people on the covers. Because you want to go see a movie because it's got that person you like in it. Yeah. As much as it's that genre I like. Often it's that genre I like with that actress that's in all the other movies in the genre.
That's true.
You know, Melissa McCarthy has made the same movie 30 times, and they're all funny. I think they're funny. Jen doesn't think they're funny.
I don't think I've ever seen her in a movie.
If you're going to see a Melissa McCarthy movie, watch The Heat. That's the best one. It's her and Sandra Bullock, and it's funny.
I don't think I could get into this.
No, it's not your kind of movie.
Just looking at this cover, I'm like, this is nope.
But, I mean, all of these movies, half of these movies at least, are being sold on the actor in them. This is Spy is being sold on. It's got Melissa McCarthy in it. Love, Simon's not being sold on somebody because no one knows who this kid was when this movie was made. Expendables 2 is based on Stallone. Brooklyn, kind of Saoirse, but also not really. This Loving Vincent, or not Loving Vincent, that's the other movie. At Eternity's Gate, it's William Dafoe as Vincent Van Gogh. That's what that is. Okay. Blade Runner, Harrison Ford and Ryan Gosling are in it. Drive, Ryan Gosling's in it. Avengers, look.
All the people
are in it. John Wick, Keanu Reeves is in it. Solo,
I don't know who he is.
Exactly. Solo's more of it's Star Wars, watch it. Yeah. So more than half these movies are, Avengers could be argued, it's Avengers, watch it. But it's also got a bunch of big stars in it.
Well, and they have a font. Like, Avengers, that's the Avengers
Well, that's
font.
the logo, yeah.
Yeah, and it's the Star Wars font.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But I didn't even get into movie font. We didn't even go that far. But I mean, at least half this pile is this movie's being sold on the stars, not the concept.
Look, they cut the word in half.
Blade Runner?
See, they cut it.
Oh, yeah. On that and Drive. Ryan Gosling doesn't like fonts.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling's on here, and he slices the fonts in halves. Halves. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, these are just some examples. I'll link all the stuff. The Vanity Fair video where he's breaking down the individual movies is just, it's fascinating. He's going through and circling all the common elements, and I'm obviously not that guy, so we're going to let you watch his video instead. But I thought it was kind of interesting to kind of take a look at if we do another movie review to see if we see any of these common things pop up in it. And I think both movies you had were foreign films. So I don't know how these kinds of things factor into foreign markets, if they're doing the same things that American markets and even British markets are doing to sell films, because those are mostly being sold to the American market.
Okay, well, but it does kind of follow some of your stuff, because you've got the mermaid one that was horror, dark. It was dark. It was the dark colors. It was this kind of weird image on the cover of her in the bathtub. But it wasn't focused on her face. It was focused on that mood of the dark, creepy thing. And then the mermaid movie that was The Assassin, it was her winking. So that's a bigger face. And she's clearly the star of the movie.
But if that were an American film, I think it would maybe follow more of the rom-com color scheme.
Well, it's got pink in it.
Yeah.
It had the bright colors and the pink and the blue.
I also wonder how, and maybe I should look into this for another video. God, my brain's not here today. Pod. I don't also know how this affects animated film. How that features in, because those are often marketed towards kids. I wonder if the color schemes kind of line up the same way. If, your How to Train Your Dragons that are more like action adventure are different than, your Frozens, which are princessy movies. But then again, because those movies are so artsy, I feel like the two Frozen movies, for example, the first one, all the tones are blue. The second one, all the tones are red and brown because it's set in fall, and purple. The tones are different. So I don't know how this factors with kids movies and with animated films. I have to look more into that. Also depends on the kind of animation you're doing. Some animation isn't as friendly to color schemes as others are.
That's true. This was really interesting. I learned a lot. Thank you, Mary, for educating me.
I've been doing all the research and Jen's been reading all the books. I haven't read a book in months. Whoops.
Thank you for educating me.
You're welcome. Hopefully we all learned something. And I'm sure I forgot a lot and didn't talk about a lot. So maybe we'll touch on this again.
I think we should do a comparison one. Books versus movies, and see if their genres fit.
Okay.
So look for that one coming up
Eventually.
on another Casing the Cover.
Eventually. God, we have so many things in the book. It's ridiculous. Okay. Okay. Sorry for getting out of me tonight, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for cracking another case with Mary and Jen. To learn more about Casing the Cover, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Casing the Cover. To contact us or suggest a book, email casingthecoverpod@gmail.com. New episodes of Casing the Cover release the second and fourth Tuesday on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher.